And we are ready to reveal the field again. Let's take a look at that bracket and the road to Tampa Bay, as it's affectionately called. We've got stops in Spokane, Washington, and Birmingham, Alabama, before, of course, heading to Tampa for the national semis on April 4th, and then we will crown a champ on April 6th. Everyone at home, all of the watch parties are like, Elle, enough, lay out. Let's start revealing the field, and here we go. Your #1 overall seed as we take a look at Regional 1 in Spokane. It's the UCLA Bruins. They are a 1 seed in this tournament. You see that reaction for the first time in program history, RL.
How about how impressive UCLA looked in the Big Ten tournament? In the championship game, they overcame a 13-point deficit in the third quarter, of course, led by Lauren Betts and her near 20 per game. But also in that game, they made the first 5 threes that they took have the inside-out balance.
They're taking selfies, they're looking at each other, they are hype, and they will play the winner of UC San Diego Tritons or the Southern Jaguars in our first 4 games. So again, your #1 overall seed is UCLA. They're those Jags. We see you in Baton Rouge. That's you. She's pointing at the camera like, that's us? That's you. Do you see, can you hear us? Maybe not, but we know that you're excited on the inside. Keeping it calm. You're in. You are in. You're in. Yes. Okay. As for our 8-9 matchup, we've got the 8-seeded Richmond Spiders. 27 wins, that's second most in program history, and they'll be facing a team that's close to home for you, Andrea. Your 9 seed, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, I have to give some credit to Georgia Tech. 22 wins, that's the most under head coach Nell Fortner. They're excited.
There we go.
Led by Kara Dunn, but my eyes are on the freshman, Danny Carnegie, ACC 6th Woman of the Year in her first NCAA tournament. Congrats to the Yellow Jackets.
Congrats. They'll be playing on Friday in that 8-9 matchup. As for our 4-13 matchup, #4, Baylor Bears, the only Big 12 team with 5 players that average in double figures. We see the reaction a little bit muted for a Baylor team that certainly made a run last year. And in that matchup, they'll be facing the 13-seed Grand Canyon Antelopes. First 30-win season in program history, and they are dancing. Congratulations to those Lopes. We move on to our 5-12 matchup, and at the 5 position, we've got the Ole Miss Rebels, CP.
Ole Miss, they finished the regular season, they knocked off LSU, and then in the SEC tournament only lost by 7 to Texas. This is a team that defends and disrupts. Coach Yo is going to have the Rebels in the dance, and they're going to be highly motivated.
Yeah, Coach Yo looks like she's motivated. That face she's giving it right back. She's like, okay, bet. We see you. Ole Miss will be facing in that 12-seeded matchup Ball State. Their second NCAA tournament appearance, first since 2009. They are dancing again after their 3rd straight 25-win season. Congratulations to those Cardinals. You'll be facing Ole Miss in the first round, a game that we'll see on Friday. We move down to the bottom of the bracket. Sitting in that 3 spot for our 3-14 matchup, it's the LSU Tigers. The only team to have 3 players with 500 points in Anissa Morrow, Michaela Williams, and Flau'jae Johnson. They've got a big 3, and they find themselves in that 3 spot.
Yeah, I wonder if their big 3 could play an unrivaled. They're that good. But the health of them is what is the big question mark. Is Flau'jae Johnson going to be healthy? She did not play in the SEC tournament. Anissa Morrow got banged up in the SEC tournament. If they're 100%, LSU can do
They're wearing 2 boots.
They're wearing 2 boots. But for now, there are a few days until they face the 14th seed, which is the San Diego State Aztecs. 25 wins, which is the most in over 12. We love the reaction. They jumped up. They love it. Ticket punched. Congratulations to the Aztecs. 3rd conference tournament title, also winning in 2010 and 2012. You'll face LSU in that first round, a game we'll see on Saturday. As we move down to the rest of the bracket for Spokane 1, in your 6-11 matchup, it's Florida State.
Florida State, a dangerous team in terms of offense, tied for 2nd in D1 in scoring, and they are led by the nation's leading scorer, Taniyah Latson. If Florida State's going to make a run, it will be on the shoulders of Taniyah Latson. She is an absolute bucket.
And a fantastic feel-good story for you. Florida State going to be facing the 11th seed George Mason Patriots, who are dancing for the first time in program history.
George Mason is coached by Vanessa Blair-Lewis. She dedicated the championship in the A-10 to her dad, who's going through hospice. So I know this is a woman that has got her focus on.
27 wins, most in program history. Congratulations to those Patriots. You are dancing for the first time. As we move on, we've got our 2-15 matchup. Number 2 seeded NC State under Wes Moore, making their 30th tournament appearance. Okay, and you know NC State, they don't dance. This was probably practiced on TikTok. We love it, ladies.
This is an NC State team that plays a 4-guard lineup. Those starting 4 guards average 71% of their offense, but it could be their big Tilda Trieger, who is the one who ultimately could get them to a Final Four. Where's Tilda? Why aren't you dancing?
Right. Yep. I see you, Sanaya. I see you, girl. Them knees. Okay. And NC State will be facing the 15th-seeded Vermont Catamounts. 1-7 all time in the NCAA tournament games. They last won in 2010, but they have only allowed 52 points per game this season. That's the 4th fewest in D1. They are leaning on that defense, and they'll need to when they face a very good NC State team in the first round of game we'll see on Saturday. As far as our 7-10 matchup, how about the 7th-seeded Michigan State Spartans? They lead the Big Ten in points per game off turnovers, business trip. They're like, all right, we'll do a little golf clap here for you. Congratulations. They'll be facing 10-seeded Harvard, which is a fantastic story, CP. 24 wins, most in program history.
Yeah, won the Ivy League on the back of Harmony Turner. She had a good bounce-back game against Princeton where she had 15 points in the earlier game in the season. She had 44 in that semifinal game.
How many?
44.
Say it again.
44 for the people in the back.
For the people in the back. So there it is. We've just revealed Spokane won. You take a full look at this field, and again, your number 1 overall seed, UCLA, sitting there at the top. They'll kick off their tournament action on Friday, facing the winner of UC San Diego and Southern. So when we take a look, guys, just your instant reaction here to UCLA getting that number 1 overall seed and what their path looks like now that you see it in front of you.
I think it's a good path. There's not a lot of size, at least in the upper half of that bracket, for anybody that will have to contend with Lauren Betts in the post. Maybe Aaronette Vonleh of Baylor could give her a little bit of trouble. She's physical and playing very good basketball right now, but I do like UCLA's path.
That's one of the things I'm going to focus on. If seeds hold and UCLA ended up playing NC State, as good as NC State's backcourt is, where they can be thin at times, is in their front court. When they had that big win against Notre Dame at home, Tilda Trieger scored in double digits. She was massive for them. Again, if seeds hold, Trieger will be very, very key for them if they want to upset UCLA.
I think another team, you talked about the bigs, you've got Timpson at Florida State. She is a shot-blocking machine. If there's anybody that can defend the paint and cause a problem, it could be her.
I think another thing when we talk about teams and rematches, right? LSU is not necessarily a team that has a lot of size, but where LSU could have an edge is confidence. We saw UCLA and LSU last season in the tournament. LSU got the win. Flau'jae Johnson absolutely shined. Now, 2 completely different teams, 2 entirely new seasons. But when I talk about potential for rematches, that's a big one that if things go according to seeding, we could see that one, and that one could be fun.
I do want to mention as well how big winning the Big Ten championship was for UCLA, right? A team that had lost to USC twice find themselves as the number 1 overall seed, in large part because they were able to take care of business in that conference tournament.